Hey guys, Darren here from Stitched Up Custom Trim. Just thought we'd give you a bit of insight what goes on when a car comes and why it is as it is now. It's not finished. I guess this is the best example a motor trimmer or a fabricator can get, is when the car is being mocked up and it is in primer, and then it comes to us. That way we can fault find if there's any problems. We're not working around a finished product or a beautiful paint job. It doesn't always happen, we definitely understand that, but over the years we've tried to work in with the companies that build the cars to give us this chance. So credit to Full Throttle up at Beresfield. They're building this Nova. It's going to be a super nice car, and we call it fabrication stage. So I'll just go through a couple of things that we look for, and we definitely think it's beneficial for anyone that's building a car to have a think about before it goes to the trim shop, or even getting started to paint and final assembly. This is just the shell. They've got all the fancy stuff off for us. We don't need to be, yes, it's nice to have the billet wheels and all the stuff on the cars, but it just adds more risk. We're definitely careful even when they're at this stage. But so when the vehicle comes in, we use a software now called Global Workshop, so shout out to them. So anytime a car comes in, when it comes in, we have all different folders. So even if it was painted or whatnot, we can show the client every day or weekly what we've been working on. But that's just a delivery report, and we have a current progress. So everything we've been doing on the car, I photograph, and then from there, I can comment or do myself a to-do list. All our team here have also got it in their phone, so they can simply click on Global Workshop. We can clock on, clock off, which is awesome for timing, but we can keep the client up to date always with what we're doing. Now, in that said, this is mainly to show you guys what goes on behind the scenes before we even start trimming. So you'll see a lot of tape lines. It looks like we're building a house, but there's a reason for it. So if we start with a center line. It doesn't matter what you're doing inside a car, you're always looking for a center line. It can be the parcel tray, the seats, the dashboard, the roof lining, and you're constantly check measuring. Why not just spend the time straight away, get it all lined up, check measure. So we start with the body lines of the vehicle, but never trust that because it can be out. Like this is a great example. They've got this car, it's getting close. But then we also just use masking tape. So we'll mask up one side, we'll bring it across, and we'll mark each end, and then we'll fold the tape in half. So you don't have to rely on a perfect measurement. All you're doing is folding something in half, mark it with a pen, and you can see it's out. Like we've found that whatever measurement we started with, where I thought the center was, is out. So that's fine because we used 19mm tape. And then we'll chalk it on the vehicle, and we'll do the same thing with the front. That said, we'll do the same thing. We'll run a string. Just use magnets. We don't need to. We can move it. You can just put a little bit of pressure on your string. It's not hard, but we can get a simple measurement back behind the seats and check all the seats are in line. And again, the seats are, if they're central to the car, and you've always got the situation with a tunnel being offset. So we set all that up now. I'll show you around this side of the vehicle. And we start mocking up things. We throw parts in place just so we get a bit of an idea of what's happening, and we can ask the client questions. Seating position it's super important for us and for the owner. It's forgotten about a lot of the time in custom cars, but as soon as the seats are in, or before, we get the seats nice and low. We want the body position right. You don't build a beautiful car like this and you're sitting up like you're in a tea bucket. It's ridiculous. So you want to be comfortable. This thing will be pumping out a fair bit of horsepower. Looks like he's got a Tiptronic sort of transmission set up. It's going to be a nice thing to drive. So we want him to be nice and straight and the steering wheel position to be correct. Now, this is definitely something that should be done before it comes to us, but there's no harm in checking it and talking with the guys that are building the car. Look, everyone makes mistakes, and we work with it. This is really good, but in the same thing, we just like to show people what goes on. The seat foams and things can also be a little bit crooked on frames, so take note of that. You can't just measure off the seams. You really should be taking it back to a frame and checking it out from there. What we'll do through this vehicle is we will take a few little videos, not over the top, just to show you where all the time goes and explain why we do this, and it just solves problems later on. Once we mop all this up, then we start making all the mess, and depending on how far the car is if the car's getting scanned and then 3D modelled inside, that's great, because then the vehicle can leave us and we can still continue to work on it. But we'll talk you through those processes so everyone's on the same page, and it's just nice to see what the trim shops do. But thanks for watching, and we'll keep you up to date with what we're working on, and we'll go from there. Thanks, guys.